Diddy, Jamie Foxx, Cuba Gooding Jr., Axl Rose, Harvey Weinstein, Donald Trump, Bill Cosby, Marcellus Wiley, Jimmy Iovine, Doug Morris, L.A. Reid, Russell Brand, Marilyn Manson, Harv Piel, and more have been sued under something called the New York Adult Survivors Act, which opened up a year-long window for survivors of sexual assault, to file civil lawsuits past the statute of limitations. Okay. And that window recently closed. But before that window closed, the folks I just named and others have been accused of sexual assault. As I put it right there in that banner, sexual assault is as American as apple pie. And that's the fucking problem. That is the problem. I don't know if any of these individuals are guilty. Okay. In a court of law, they are innocent until proven guilty. Okay. But I saw something with my own eyes online that was very disturbing. Enraging. It infuriated me. Because between what I saw, which I'm going to talk to y'all about, and these stories that's come out, and some of the dialogue I'm hearing around these accusations, I wondered to myself, how in the hell am I going to keep my daughter safe in this world? So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. All right. Before we do, though, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy first, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on some. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Share, and put all your people on it. Real ones, this is one you need to share. There's a queen who has a podcast called She Loves Thee. I think the queen's name is Timona. This queen is ride or die for Jack State University. And she posted something online. It's a video showing her, talking about just, turning up, having some fun somewhere. And a brother walks up and just grabs her on her ass. Like, like it wasn't nothing. And so I watched that shit. And all I could do was think about my daughter. I got a 6th grader now. I think about my daughter. I think about, protecting her. Because all the fucking horror stories that you hear, whether it's in the media, whether it be, from my own life, the horror stories I heard about things that happened to my mother, the horror stories I've heard about things that happened to my sisters, Seems like every woman in my life got a story of something, whether it be just sexual harassment, sexual assault, which that's sexual assault. You walking up and just grabbing a woman's ass is fucking sexual assault, man. You can't fucking do that. You can't do that. So whether it's been that, whether it's been attempted rape, I guess some heinous shit that's happened out there, and so many women got these fucking stories. That's why that Me Too movement hit like it did, because seemed like all the women were like, that shit happened to me too. So when I saw that happen to that sister on in the video, and then I saw the dialogue around that shit, it wasn't just all one way in terms of saying, "Oh, that's fucked up." Woo, woo, woo. Some folks was saying some fuck shit. When it comes to these allegations, you got a lot of people saying some fuck shit. Even when you got names like Donald Trump in it, who that motherfucker on tape telling us about sexually assaulting women. Yep, he's on tape. He's been found liable in a court of law for sexual assault in a civil case. Another motherfucker who's been accused outside of the names I mentioned, R&B singer Aaron Hall. This motherfucker got an interview with Vlad. Well, he talking wild, talking about fucking in front of Puffy and Jodeci and all this shit. And now I would have to double verify this. I'm hoping this shit is just some internet shit. I'm hoping the motherfucker that posted this shit got this totally wrong. Okay. This is an account called College Kid, big account on Twitter. Okay, again, you can't take everything that's on Twitter for real. Okay. But these lyrics right here look like they come from Genius. Okay, the online service that show you these motherfuckers lyrics. And this motherfucker Aaron Hall in a song called Don't Be Afraid got some lyrics that say no need to run and no need to hide. All the doors are locked, baby, and I have you inside. You can yell and you can hit me. It just makes me horny. What the fuck we talking about, man? What are we doing? How did bro have a career after that? Huh? And the reason this shit resurfaced is because somebody accused this motherfucker of raping a woman with Diddy in 1990. And he got lyrics like this out. And I told you he got this Vlad interview out where he up here. Like, man, ask Puffy and Joseph, they'll tell you they seen me fuck. What the fuck? What y'all boys doing? Like, this shit so fucking common that cats just openly talking about this wild ass shit. And it's not gonna stop. It's never gonna stop. I'm not one of these motherfuckers that thinks we're gonna have a perfect world. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna stop. God knows I wish it would stop. It's not gonna stop. But it's not gonna become less common. We need to become rare. And that's not gonna happen to real motherfuckers stand the fuck up and call these boys out for this bullshit. If they in your circle, like, bro, what the fuck? You can't do that, bro. What the fuck? You can't talk like that. You can't act like that. You can't do that, bro. We gotta ostracize these motherfuckers, dog. And this just ain't no male bashing shit. Hell, I'm repping for the real men out there, because when this shit happened, We the ones that end up in prison for killing these type of motherfuckers. We the ones that end up doing time for trying to protect these folks' honor. You know what I'm talking about? Think about how often that shit happen where somebody that beat your your sister, or somebody did something to your mama or your little cousin or something like that. And as a real motherfucker, you step up and go ride for them. You feel me? I've been there. I've been there. Thank God I'm here to talk to y'all about. Thank God I ain't up in prison or dead in the situation I was in. I could have ended up dead or in prison for being ready to defend somebody who I love, honor, trying to protect them. Like when it comes to sex, whether it's sexual assault, it's sexual harassment, whether it's physical abuse and verbal abuse, all that kind of shit, this fuck shit is not gonna become rare until the real men step up and be fucking real men and police this shit in terms of culturally. Okay. I'm talking before it gets to the point and we had to police it with these, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about to get we policing it culturally in our circles and in how we're talking about uh uh this shit amongst ourselves. You feel me? How we talking about women and we can't be up here saying talking about rape and sexual assault and sexual harassment like that shit just cool. It ain't cool, it ain't fucking funny, dog. If you can't get no puss off the strength of just your charisma or whatever the case is, man, move around, bro. And nowadays, when sex work is like probably in all of history, it's probably got its highest rating where it's not looked down on as much. Like it has been normalized in some parts of the country to a large extent. Well, no, folks don't be tripping as much. We got a whole ass former NBA star, Joe Smith. Okay, he got this controversy right now with his wife. But if you watch it, he did a Vlad interview. He said it wouldn't have been no controversy if she had just told him that she was doing the OnlyFans. That's how common this shit is now. So these sorry ass motherfuckers out here, they ain't gotta take no pussy, they ain't gotta sexually harass or sexually assault nobody. You can go pay somebody to have sex with you. And if they are consenting adult and that's how they want to get down, do that. But we gotta goddamn make this shit counterculture to be one of these motherfuckers that sit up here and do this shit. That's how we stop these lists or we reduce these lists. Let's say reduce. It's not gonna stop. The world's an evil motherfucking place. But goddamn it, can we reduce it? Can we reduce it? So I want to say shout out to all the women out there, man. You in this motherfucking world, bro. But just because of your gender and because y'all are naturally for the most part, naturally smaller than us men. That off top, you end up in this fucking predicament. You know, you end up, having to like live in fear because the shit is so common. I pray that God gives y'all strength. I pray that God motivates you to strengthen your body and your mind and to arm your motherfucking selves. Because that's one of the things I'm gonna do, and I talk to my wife and my daughter about it. I pull them on, one on each side of me, and I talk to them about things that we got to do to make sure that they are safe when I'm not around. Because when I'm around, I'm gonna protect mine. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna protect mine. But when I'm not around, that's what I worry about. You feel me? So I gotta have them ready. And that sucks that you got to think that way. It does. But I also want to shout out the real brothers out there, the real fathers, the real husbands, the real boyfriends. You know what I'm talking about? All you real ass motherfuckers out there, man, who love your women and you stay down about your woman. You know what I'm talking about? And you know, I know it's probably hard on you if you got a woman who's been through some of this shit. You know what I'm talking about? And if you're a real one, hell, especially if it's something for their past, you probably want to go murk whoever did that shit, even if it was before you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a real one. It's tough, man. And I pray that God gives y'all strength. You know what I'm talking about? And be ready to defend your motherfucking women at all times. See, a lot of folks don't want to focus on the totality of what Brother Malcolm was talking about in that quote about black women being the most disrespected and the most unprotected and all that shit. He was saying that in part because yes, they got to deal with the bullshit from the racist in society, but they also have to deal with the bullshit from some of the fuck boys within our own community. You understand? So the other part of that quote was, "We will kill you for our woman." That's what he said. We will kill you for our woman. Then he said, "Yes, yes, I'm making it plain." He said, if that's what the white men gonna do, a lot of them lynchings and shit that went down was from motherfuckers looking at a white woman. You saw what they did to Emmett Till based off some bullshit of him allegedly flirting with a white woman. Now I'm not saying we should go in that evil route, but in terms of just protecting, standing 10-toe behind our women and stopping this shit, no, that has to happen, dog. We got to make it counterculture to not protect your motherfucking women. You feel me? We got to make it counterculture to treat women in a way that makes them feel unsafe. Ostracize these motherfuckers, dog. That's how we reduce these lists. That's how we hear less and less about these motherfucking lawsuits like this. That's how we stop seeing videos like what happened to Queen Timona. So real men and real women, let's stand up and let's try to make this motherfucking world safer for our children. They gotta grow up in this shit. They gotta grow up in this shit. So that means we gotta start teaching these little boys early about what's right and what's wrong, teaching them about what's proper to say and what's not, teaching them about what's um, appropriate to do and what's not. Again, as a former teacher, a lot of my youngest, some of the shit they thought was cool just ain't cool. They thought that a girl should be flattered if they walk past them and talk about how big their booty is. They thought that girls should be flattered if they in the club with them and just, smack them on the ass or whatever. And I know in this era of stripper rap, well, every goddamn female rapper that's successful is twerking left and right in this shit. I know it gives you these mixed messages. That's the entertainment business, man. Entertainment business and real day-to-day life, two different things. Again, I got to talk more about, you know, what we got to do to teach our kids how to properly consume entertainment. Because they got to be able to change this shit. I mean, differentiate between real life and that bullshit that's just entertainment. They got to be able to differentiate between it. All that shit they see John Wick doing the goddamn movie, they shouldn't be out there trying to go do that. And I think most of them understand that that's a movie, I can't go do that. Well, they need to understand that when you see Ice Spice twerking and shit like that, or Megan Thee Stallion twerking like that, okay, that don't mean that the girl in your high school who built like her, that you should be able to just go smack her on the ass because you really want to smack Megan Thee Stallion on the ass. Megan Thee Stallion paying her bills by sitting up there doing that twerking and shit like that. Ice Spice too. And if the girl at the party shaking her ass like that, hey, she might just be having a good time. That don't mean that you get to go do what you want to do with that girl without her motherfucking consent. And we got to start early with teaching them this shit. You feel me? And now, of course, some gonna say, well, these women be lying. Does that happen? Yes, that shit happen. We've seen it. Tupac went to his grave saying vehemently that he did not sexually assault that woman. Okay. We've seen, I think some college football player had his whole life derailed by a motherfucker lying on him. The shit with Emmett Till, it's come out that the woman fucking lying. Okay. So does that happen? Yes. Yes. But this shit is common enough that all these motherfuckers ain't lying. Most of these motherfuckers ain't lying. And we know that. If we stop bullshitting ourselves, we know that. Again, I can just think about my own fucking family in the horror story. That they ain't told nobody, they ain't trying to make no money off of it. You know what I'm saying? This shit, it's not even reported as much as it should be because so many of these motherfuckers think ain't nobody gonna believe them. And you can even, and before I get off here, I don't want to forget, you can even look in the NBA when it comes to this underage shit. You know, with the whole Josh Giddey or the Oklahoma City Thunder, allegedly he been fucking around with some 15-year-old girl. Now, folks did a whole surviving R. Kelly thing. You know what I'm saying? But that shit's so fucking common, man. Folks around here acting like that's just R. Kelly. But in these schools around America, you see the shit happening. Okay? It's that common. It's so common. You got this goddamn NBA player just did shit. And they let him play. Not to even bring up the shit, remember the shit with the Catholic Church. Because sometimes these folks ain't even doing it to doing this bullshit to girls or women. They do it to men too and boys. I've been a victim of sexual assault. Nobody raped me, thank God. Okay. But I've told y'all about what happened to me before when I was over a friend's house for spending the night. That in my sleep, the motherfucker's father touched me in my sleep. I've told y'all about that. If you fuck with me for real, you heard me talk about that. Because I mentioned it in one of my songs. Okay. And it took courage like a motherfucker for me to speak on that. It takes courage right now for me to speak on that. But I feel like I wouldn't be being true to who I say I am, the realest, if I ain't bring that up. And I didn't report it. I told my mother about it. And I never went back into that fucking home again. That's how common the shit is that it happens so much and it doesn't get reported. And part of the reason I didn't report it, because I ain't think nobody was gonna fucking believe me. And I'm a man, so imagine how these motherfucking women be feeling. You feel me? Yeah, that happened when I was a child, and you would hope that folks would believe a child, but look at some of the names I named, dog. You would hope people gonna believe the victim, but look at some of the names I fucking named, and they still didn't settle like that. Bill Cosby had all the motherfucking women up here saying the same similar thing. Folks still up here defending his motherfucking ass. Folks still to this day act like R. Kelly ain't did nothing wrong. I just told you about Aaron Hall and these fucking crazy ass lyrics he got. You know, to my name in the shit that he done said in his interview. Now Harvey Weinstein is a white guy, so and he wasn't like he's a producer. You know what I'm saying? So I think people don't talk about his situation as openly as some of these folks that's in front of the camera and shit like that. You feel me? But you got some other. I would love to see what folks are gonna say about like Axl Rose. That's a big time motherfucking rock and roll singer. Okay. I wonder if people gonna try to defend him and shit like that. It's so common that folks be defending the damn Supreme Court judge Kavanaugh. Look how folks rallied behind him. Bill Clinton, when he did it, when he was accused of all that bullshit, folks rallied behind him. And I already talked about Trump. After the pussy tape came out, grab him by the pussy tape came out, the motherfucker won the presidency. After the shit about all the other stuff came out, he still had like 70 million motherfuckers go vote for him in 2020. That's how common it is, man. And a lot of folks just say, forget it. Fuck that shit, man. Because for those of us that this shit happens to, we don't forget it. We don't. We don't forget about that shit. See, now that I'm a grown man, I won't shoot that motherfucker in his mouth. And that son bitch only touched me in my sleep. The only reason I know this son bitch did it, because the evil motherfucker called me later and told me he did it. And I want to shoot him in his fucking mouth. Because we don't forget. We live with that shit, dog. So let's change the culture. Let's change the culture, man. Again, I wish all survivors strength and love. And I wish all you real men out there and women who are doing the best to protect your families. I wish y'all strength and love as well. Put it on some.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.